Detroit in the early 1960s had one rule everyone followed without question. The engine sits up front, the transmission bolts directly behind it, and a heavy steel driveshaft connects the two like a rigid spine running the length of the car. It was simple. It was proven. Every American manufacturer built it this way. Then Pontiac looked at that rule and decided to break it in a way that should not have worked. They took the engine, kept it in the front, but then ripped the transmission away and bolted it to the back of the car, right next to the rear axle. In between, instead of a thick, rigid driveshaft, they ran something thin, flexible, and almost absurd-looking, a shaft no wider than a curtain rod, spinning at engine speed, bowing gently in the middle like a fishing rod under tension. Engineers who saw it for the first time had the same reaction you're probably having right now. That shouldn't spin. That should snap. This was the Pontiac Tempest, introduced for 1961. And underneath it was a system Pontiac engineers nicknamed the rope drive. Not because it looked like a rope, because it behaved like one. To understand why anyone would attempt this, you have to understand the problem Pontiac was actually trying to solve. And it had nothing to do with showing off. General Motors wanted a smaller car. Not a muscle car. Not a flagship. A compact that could compete with the wave of smaller imports creeping into the American market. But a smaller car came with a brutal contradiction. Make the car shorter, and there's nowhere to put a full-size driveshaft tunnel running down the center. Make the floor flat for better interior space, and you lose the structural channel that driveshaft needs to live in. Lower the car for better handling, and that thick steel shaft starts intruding into passenger space. Every solution created a new problem. Shrink the car, lose the room. Keep the room, lose the height advantage. It was the kind of engineering puzzle where every fix broke something else. Like trying to flatten one bump in a rug only to push it somewhere else in the room. The obvious answer, the one every other manufacturer used, was to just accept the compromise. Build the car a little taller, live with a slightly raised floor. Pontiac's engineers looked at that compromise and refused it. What they wanted sounded almost like a riddle. A car with a low floor, a smooth ride, perfect 50-50 weight balance front to rear, and an engine still mounted up front the traditional way drivers expected. Nobody had solved that riddle in a mass-production American car. Not because nobody thought of moving the transmission to the back. That idea existed in racing and in some European designs. The problem was the connection between the two. A driveshaft spinning at thousands of revolutions per minute, running nearly 6 feet long, with no thick tunnel to protect or support it. That should have been impossible.